All right, so going to the topologies, like I had mentioned before, there are a couple different methodologies for how we want to set up the centralized, controller and the brains of our wireless configuration and our environment. So we have our on-prem methods. Now that's a controller that either lives, with where the APs are going to be, however many there are, 50, 5,000. It could all be in the same room in a campus building at a university, or let's say you have your APs at your office building and your controller at your DR site. Totally doable. Now, if we potentially go into a smaller deployment, we can do what's called a converged controller method. And if you have an existing 3850, or you're purchasing one as part of the project, a 4500 or a 6500 Cisco Catalyst switch, you can actually get wireless LAN controller roles built into the switch themselves. So that avoids you having to buy additional hardware and lets you perform, conflate your network from wireless and wired access into one device, which is pretty exceptional, especially because those devices can be redundant with redundant power supplies and data stacking. So you can have some pretty efficient and complex environments that are really useful and really beneficial, depending on what you guys need. So our alternative is cloud. Cloud controller, again, by its name, it's not going to be on-prem, it's going to be up in the cloud, like we like a lot of our new stuff to be. The big benefits is of that is if you have a lot of sprawl, if you have a lot of sites with multiple APs, if you have a lot of sites with just one AP, they just need to get internet. As soon as they have internet connections, they go up to the cloud, they download their configurations, and then they keep that heartbeat connected to continuously provide the updates or changes that you may make to your centralized cloud controller. And then it pushes all of that down. So a lot of people want to ask, though, with that cloud controller, what happens if I get disconnected? Do I lose wireless? And you don't at all. Your wireless AP will continue to function like a local access point on the network. People can still get on the access point, still be on your local network. And let's say you don't have internet connection, but you have connection over a VPN to another site. That AP will still get you on the network, hit that VPN, still go to the other site. You might even still be able to get internet access for your users based on your routing and your topology design. An important piece to know about the OnPrem licensing, though, the OnPrem controller HA licensing. If you have a couple of controllers, in the past you used to have to buy licensing for each controller. So we have 50 APs and we want to be redundant with two OnPrem controllers. This one needs 50 licenses and this one needs 50 licenses. Well, nowadays, the way to do this and the smartest method to keep your bucks in your pocket is to buy an HA controller. That HA controller is just going to line up right behind that first one. And if you have 100 licenses on this one, it'll copy it right over. So if you have a failover event, this controller goes down, this other controller is licensed for as many APs as you had on the other, and is fully redundant, acts exactly the same, comes in virtual and physical options. So really a good methodology there. So wireless, it isn't just connectivity. A lot of people think, I got wireless access points, I need to get people on the wireless, that's all wireless is. But a lot of times when we start talking to customers, we start saying, well, there's a couple of things that you can do here. How about mobility services, right? With mobility services engines, you can do location analytics. A lot of companies are doing some really complex and clever things with this, such as like universities. Let's say you go to a university and you want to get a tour. Well, they could have someone available at the desk, maybe an intern or something. Or if we come in with a solution utilizing mobility services engines and the latest APs, we will be able to say, hey, this is where you are right now on a map. You need to go this way, and as soon as you get there, pop up with a box to say, welcome to, let's say we're in the sub. This is where the students, eat and have a cafeteria. As soon as you're ready to move on, walk out to the doors under the green sign, and the tour will continue to take this person from any of the pre-programmed locations, or even let them explore on their own, which is pretty awesome. How about we apply that same methodology to a retail environment? We can use location metrics to determine how long people are at shelves, or potentially even how close they got, how long they lasted, and how interested they were. Maybe they watched for a second and then they got close and got something off the shelf. That's important things to know. You want to know if people are interested in the products you're putting up, or if you're just putting up, really expensive wallpaper for them to walk by and go get the things that they're there for. Speaking of metrics, there's a lot of people counting metrics that some of the devices can do. So we can potentially set up entire dashboards that don't just tell you, who logged in and when they logged in, and that's all good to know. But at the end of the day, a lot of people prefer that their wireless network set it, forget it. I know people are getting on, they're not complaining to me, I know my network is working. But what about the people that walk by your network? Same thing with that retail scenario. Maybe they come in and they don't connect into your network. How are we going to get that information? We can actually keep track of what users, just by their phone coming in and touching the SSID, using their MAC address to say how long they were here, how often they passed by here, and if they've repeated, and how many times in the week they've done that. So a lot of people are using this for, once again, loyalty, repeat customers, that sort of thing. We had a library who wanted to know how many people are coming in to check out books. Now, we don't need people to log on to the wireless or to have someone checking it or going through the security film, and we reduced a ton of operational overhead to be able to provide them at the end of every day for them to log into a system to say, well, we counted about 120 phones, so we guess it's about 120 plus however many people you don't think have phones. How about Facebook pages, right? Facebook and social media and all this stuff is pretty critical. It's hot, it's trendy. It drives additional revenue and business back to yourself. So you could say, hey, I'm giving you guest users, wireless guest access or wireless access, and you can make them land on your Facebook page. And they'll probably click like while they're there because they're here and they want to share what they're doing at the movies or at the stadium or at the library, and they'll be on your page. And so later in life, when they're on their Facebook, it's going to come up and say, hey, you like this? We're doing another event. And it's going to bring the focus all the way back around to you, which is, really at the end of the day what we're trying to accomplish. Not just getting people access, but making IT not a cost center, but an opportunity center, and really driving additional lines of business and potential revenue generation into the business. And that's what, people are wanting to see. IT departments are wanting to see, and management levels are really wanting to see in projects now.